they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, you know, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that.
So Facebook and Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg telling Joe Rogan now about his interactions his company had with the Biden administration, and he's also rolling out some big policy changes. It's time now for our Sunday group. See what they think. USA Today Washington Bureau Chief Susan Page. Molly Hemingway, the Federalist editor-in-chief. Fox News senior political analyst Juan Williams, by the way, author of the brand new book out Tuesday, New Prize for These Eyes, The Rise of America's Second Civil Rights Movement. And Josh Krashauer, editor-in-chief of Jewish Insider. All right, welcome everybody, and congrats on the book this week, Juan.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so Molly, Zuckerberg went on to say that once they started pushing back in earnest, that agencies and government entities began investigating and coming after his company. He said, quote, it was brutal.
Well, this was a fascinating 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan, where Mark Zuckerberg goes through what it was like to be subject to pressure from the government to censor American speech and debate on all sorts of issues, and how any resistance that they put forth against this resulted in different agencies in the federal government coming after them, you know, seemingly unrelated, but clearly because the government really wanted Facebook to be a massive partner in the censorship regime. I don't know if Americans realize how big that censorship regime has been, how much speech and debate has been affected, or even how much Democrats have benefited from that. It's on all sorts of issues, and Zuckerberg goes through some of them, COVID obviously being one of them, but so many other issues as well. It's been a huge advantage for Democrats and a huge problem for Republicans. So if there is some easing up on this censorship regime, you might see some big political results as well.
You know, it's interesting. I think conservatives are really focused on this censorship angle, and that's the one that Zuckerberg pitched to Joe Rogan and is pitching otherwise. But I think the reality is that Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, all these high-tech guys know where the gravy train is and who's driving the gravy train, and that's Donald Trump, the incoming president. And they want to keep public funds flowing to their programs. Think SpaceX, for example.